Kevin Fleming here, Grupo Mariana, developer of Playa Mariana, Nicaragua, and that's where we're going today. You're gonna follow me. This is gonna be an incredible day because we have so many things to see, like always, right? But this one's gonna be really special because you're gonna see some areas that you've not seen before. We're also gonna be some advanced progress on the topography and the water installation, so pretty exciting. We're in Granada right now, and we're leaving the office. It is, let's keep track of time, 6:30 in the morning, and I am wired. Been up since 2 in the morning. I've been so excited about today. I just couldn't sleep. So follow me all day today, and around 2 o'clock we're gonna have a very special treat. So keep following the stories and keep watching to the end of this roll, this clip, wherever you're watching it. Go up above in the bio and click the link to go to playamariana.com. I'm gonna be repeating that today all day, playamariana.com. With me today is Howard, of course, the man, 6:30 in the morning. He's never late. This guy is amazing. Howard Colson. When he's not working for me, you're gonna want him, but I'm not gonna let him go. So anyways, follow me today, follow us today, and we're gonna see every piece of the property and all the progress. And when you do, be sure to go down below in the description, follow the links, watch the other videos, be sure to heart, like, follow, subscribe, and you're gonna be glad you did. With me every step of the way today, behind the scenes as we're going to Playa Mariana. And I give you these insights because you never know what is going to happen or who I'm gonna meet. And I really want to give you a sense of what it takes to develop real estate. And to do so, especially 923 acres in Nicaragua, having done this for 20 years, sometimes it's not always about just marketing and bringing people into the country. It's about showing the country and what's really going on. And that's why you've been seeing me going in and around San Juan del Sur, the Coastal Highway, Ometepe, Granada, Lake Nicaragua, the Isletas, you name it. I've been to almost every tourism location in the country, because why that's important is because one of the main reasons that people come and travel is because countries are safe, and Nicaragua is one of the safest countries in all of Latin America. Two, there's a ton of opportunities in the country to go and look in regards to tourism and opportunities to really just go and have a great time. Also, the location of Nicaragua is really easy to get to. 2 hours from Miami, 3 hours from Houston. You can't ask for really much more than that. In fact, it's easier to get to sometimes Nicaragua than it is even to get to Panama or Costa Rica or Belize. And there's so much foreign investment going on. I've traveled the entire Coastal Highway, showed you what $500 million looks like. And the new airport that's going in should be open by 2028, 2029, at least those are the predictions. And a whole lot more of construction within the country. Now today is going to be an interesting day because we are getting ready to plant and purchase coconut trees and palm trees. Our civil engineer is going to be on site to review with us the water progress, because we're coming close to the end of that particular phase one of the water. They started on the topography down on the individual lots, markers, roads, development areas, and entrances. There's the ramps from the Coastal Highway have gone into the project, so we're going to check on that progress. We're going to go for a tour in the back of the land to check on the security issues and the fencing over there. Down by the river, we're building fences. So much going on today. It's really hard to believe that every Saturday, more or less, when I go to the property to check on the progress, that there's more and more stuff to go and see. So just imagine what's going to happen when construction starts coming out of the ground with the first bungalows and casitas and the hotel, and so much more that I'll give you a sense of that as we come along. So keep following me today. Right now, it's really noisy out here, so let's go inside. Right now I'm at the Pronto, and we're picking up some ice and some more water and drinks. The last time I went to the project, we gave out so much water, we weren't paying attention. At the end of the day, we had no water left, and we were really thirsty. So this time I brought my huge cooler, picking up some ice, probably another 24 of them. We tend to like to give out the water during the day to everybody that we meet along the way. Howard's over there with the Grupo Mariana shirt and hat in front of the Pronto sign. And we're just gonna have just an amazing time today. Everybody always tends to watch what I'm doing with this camera, so here we go. Hello everybody, welcome to a part of Catarina. And what we're doing here is follow me along, because normally on these early mornings, we try to stop off at some of these plant selling locations because we're getting ready to landscape at Playa Mariana. And all that as well, for the individual owners who own home sites and other properties, they're going to want to start planting on their on their lot as well. So all along the Catarina area, Masatepe, Masaya, all around this zone, this region, which is all within like 20 kilometers and 15 minutes, you'll find these individual local shops, I guess you want to call them, on the side of the road, where you can come and negotiate everything that you're going to want to get to really beautify your entire lot. And we're getting ready to buy, we've been negotiating for 1,000 trees, coconut trees mixed with palm trees. And so our prices keep going down and down as we keep shopping for more and more items. So to give you a bit of a sense right now, a 1 meter tall coconut tree should cost you about $10. And a 1 meter royal palm will be about $15. Now, depending upon where you go, that price can go up to 15 or 20. We're actually shopping for 2 meter tall trees, so it looks like there's a little bit more there of substance. And to give you a sense on those pricings, the best price we found so far, delivered, which is like 1 hour and a half from the location where we are, planted, all right, is about $40 for a coconut tree, all right, 2 meters tall, which is like 6.5 feet, which is not bad. So when you look at this, this is I think that's a banana tree. That's a banana tree. I'm not buying some of those yet, but I do want to. I'm really attracted to the banana trees. But look at all this opportunity to purchase a whole bunch of different stuff. Like here, I think these are coconut palms, like right there, and that might be like $10. And this is definitely some bougainvillea that we need to plant. These are really good along fence lines. They really change the location of things really fast. And there's an example of a banana tree. That's what I knew it was, a banana tree. And we're going to be planting hundreds of these trees very, very soon on our Agrihood side of the development, which I'm really getting excited about. I never thought that I would be a farmer, so to speak, but along with being a real estate developer, we are learning about agriculture, because we have so much land that we need to have this land start to make some money to help pay for itself, because maintenance of 923 acres is not cheap. I'm with Howard this morning. You guys recognize Howard. And we're negotiating on all these different types of plants and banana plants. Howard, we should get a price on these banana trees, like for 100 of them. Yeah. You getting right? Yeah, see? We're looking. He knows what I'm looking for. So, yeah, that one's about 2-3 meters, right? That one? Yeah, I like that one. Like maybe 50 of those.
50 more
of that size, yeah.
Yeah, 50 that size, 50 more.
Of the 2 meter ones, yeah, that work out really well. Yeah, we'll get a mixture, but definitely some of those sizes are perfect. So does that size look great? Now we can plant them like 1 meter tall, but it takes a long time for them to grow. So I really want to get some trees planted on site in specific areas, so it looks like the project has some substance. Actually, it doesn't look like. Let me rephrase that. It will have some substance, because as you're going to see today, or whenever you're watching these videos and these clips, we aim to change the look and the feel of the entire project, and really, really quickly. So keep following along. We're going to be stopping at a number of different stops like this today, probably 2 or 3 of them, and I'll give you like a 3 or 4 minute show of everything that you can get in and around the area. And sometime during the end of the day, or in another video, I'll give you a summary of what it is that we found, what are some of the prices here for the plants that you see, so we have a full scope, and you'll have a full scope understanding of what the average price of plants are in Nicaragua. Another highway in Nicaragua. This time I'm just pushing on past Catarina, and we are in Niquinohomo, I believe that's how you pronounce it. And this is well, it's a great place for 2 particular reasons. One, you can see across the street where they sell furniture and more furniture and more furniture, and all along this area in about 3 to 4 kilometers, there's all these small furniture manufacturing places where you can pick up really cheap stuff, but great quality. And when you can't find exactly what you want, you can bring a picture of what you want and they'll make it for you, which is really good. Now, over the months, I've passed by this street so many times, at least 20 times. You've seen me coming by this way on the way to Masatepe, and then on to Crucero, and down through Rafael del Sur. Masachapa, Pochomil, and eventually to Playa Mariana. But I can never remember the name of the sign. So here I am in Niquinohomo, all right, that's what it's called, Niquinohomo. And there's also this Park Aquatico, which people have been saying, go to the Park Aquatico, go check it out, go make a video. Well, this is what's inside. It's a place basically for kids. It's not a huge adult place. So when you walk in here, all right, they have a little restaurant over there. Remember, we're in Niquinohomo, so it's hot here. But here's a little bit of what their aquatic park looks like. Now, when you got little kids, why not? This looks great. Look, it's not very deep. They're cleaning. They got a couple slides, although that's more park, not really slides into the pool. But they got some pools, and I'm sure this is a real treat for the locals because, quite frankly, I've not seen one swimming pool in anybody's house outside of a resort development when we come to a local Nicaraguan living in these towns. So having a small little park to go and bring the kids to is really good. And I can attest to that because there's a few families that are living in and around the neighborhood of our particular location. And I remember back in March, we brought them to our event and put them up in a hotel in Granada. And they had a pool. And that was the first time in 15 to 17 years, depending upon which kid was there, that the kids were even in a pool ever. So that's what that really means. So take that for what it's worth. That's your local car wash and car repair place. And as you can see, once again on the road, Kevin Fleming gets out of the car and he'll tell you exactly what's happening in Nicaragua and show you all the cool things behind the scenes. This particular tour, we're definitely stopping off here at the Super 7. You know it. I've been stopping here for 6 months now on the way to Playa Mariana. And I really, really like this gas station, not only because it's a great location, but the people inside are amazing. We've been giving them hats, we've been giving them towels, we've been giving them shirts all throughout the months that we've been coming here. But it really is a great spot if you're coming from Granada or Nandaime or in and around that area close to Lake Nicaragua, because it's a halfway point when you're coming up to the mountain through the El Crucero. And now, actually, there's two ways to go down the El Crucero, which will take you down, or you could have gone the other way through Nandaime and then gone through Casares, because the coastal highway is now open on both sides of Masachapa and Casares with Playa Mariana basically in the middle. Straight ahead, you can't really see it, but that's the ocean amongst the clouds. We're heading down the hill next. El Crucero is a bit chilly. It's up here in the mountain, and it's actually a pretty nice place in some areas, not so nice in others, but that's how it is. We're gonna go see our water tanks on site. We got a couple of those 5,800 gallon water tanks that we're gonna go and check out, which are very similar to these Rotoplast tanks you see right here. And we already fueled up in our rocket ship car right now, and we already ordered our stuff. So the girls in here are kind of great because when I come in here, they already know what I want to order, and it doesn't matter what lineup is in here. They just make me my double espresso, sometimes triple. Today it was a triple espresso. It's early. It's 9 o'clock right now. We started at what time? Do you remember? We left the house at 6:30. And we've been stopping everywhere in Catarina and San Marcos and Masatepe, and now we're here in the El Crucero. And what I always do here, which is a lot of fun, and I encourage you to do it as well, when you stop into these little places, they don't make a lot of money. So what I usually do is I take one of these like red bills and I give it to the staff so they can buy themselves a coffee or a drink or a Coke and a pastries for the rest of the day. And I do that all the time, and I'm gonna do that right now. Hello everybody, it's so good to be back at my home beach, you might say. But it's not Playa Mariana. Playa Mariana is about 3-4 kilometers straight ahead. And right now we are gonna rent some quads and we're gonna ride all the way up the beach to Playa Mariana and have the quads on site for a couple hours while we park our car here at Pochomil. Now, for those of you just watching this video for the first time, Pochomil, being that it's so close to Playa Mariana, is such a great support area for everybody to enjoy because there's probably over 20 restaurants in this particular area. You can rent horses, you can rent quads, you can go in the beach, you can go swimming, you can party with the locals in the evening. But this is typical to the beach here and around the central district in the Pacific Passage. So you have Masachapa, followed by Pochomil, then it's Playa Mariana. And it's an amazing coastline where you can just cruise all the way down the coast, almost all the way to La Boquita. From this particular point, you can go almost 20 kilometers straight. And we're gonna go Well, we're gonna go pretty far, so we think we're safe to do so on the quads that they'll let us. But Pochomil is an amazing beach to come and enjoy the services that are here. And in the town, you may have seen it on a different video, but there's a street along the front of these restaurants here, which makes it and gives it a village atmosphere. Now, it's not quite low tide yet. Low tide's at 2 o'clock, and right now it is 10:15. I think we started this trek at 6:30 in the morning. So in about 4 hours, it's going to be low tide, which means this is pretty well high tide and going down. But an amazing beach here at Pochomil. I highly recommend anybody to come here and check it out. You're with me right now down at the beach that's called Pochomil Viejo. And Pochomil Viejo is basically a row of homes that people own, not in exactly a gated community, but out in the open, in the public. Here you can get title land and concession land and lease land, a little bit of everything. The beach is not too bad, although a little bit rocky in some areas, but you can see how some people have built many of their homes and how things can start to look when you start planting, putting in those coconut trees and those palms, and taking away the disaster of trees that don't exactly look great, which is what we've been doing at Playa Mariana. So when we get there, in fact, Pochomil is where we came from in that direction, and we're heading that way around the corner to Playa Mariana all the way straight down. We're only about 2 kilometers away, and that's our next stop. You made it with me all the way to Playa Mariana on the quad from Pochomil. That's the corner, you might recognize that post, of Playa Mariana, and continues down 2 kilometers straight, which we're gonna drive on that quad all the way to the Tecolapa River, where it comes out into the ocean. And I'll give you a bit of an update from there. But get ready, because this beach is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. We just came about 4 to 5 kilometers, I believe is what it was, along the beachfront, passing by Pochomil Viejo all the way to Pochomil, where we rented the quads. And now we're gonna go 2 kilometers to the Tecolapa River, and I'm gonna see you on the other side with a bit of an update of what that looks like coming next. You're with me now on the back of the quad with Howard. He's right here. And I wanna basically describe to you what's going on here. What you see right now is the Tecolapa River. That's the border's edge of Playa Mariana. No development will take place over here, primarily because it's wetlands. It's an area that we never ever had on the plan for real estate development over 2 decades. And this is why, because this is the dry season right now. So this is when there's the least amount of water. When it starts to rain and the river fills up quite a bit, the river and the water will expand this way. But eventually it does meet itself into the ocean straight ahead. So for now and forever, this particular area is just one where should you want to come all the way down here on your quad, because it's a long way to walk, this is one area where you can just relax and enjoy the natural habitat. You'll find cranes here, some birds, some wildlife. I've even seen a monkey, 1 or 2 in this particular area. So call this a bird watching area, environmentally protected, but it's right along the beach front. So we're blessed with this river frontage, I guess you might want to call it that. And you can see right here where the river makes its way out into the ocean over here. And during the rainy season, this particular area here will get wider and it'll get deeper. Go slow. We don't want to get splashed here. Okay, so when you're on a quad, you for sure can make it all the way down here. You can walk down here. And if you're just catching this clip and not the previous videos, it is about 11:15 right now, and low tide is at 2:30. So the tide has been going out for the last 3 hours, and it's revealing quite the beachfront here at Playa Mariana. And you can see the beach right here, how it moves all the time, right? Because of that river. And so this whole entire area, it shifts all the time. So while we have 2 kilometers of beachfront, I guess you could say 1 kilometer is where we're really developing real estate, because this is just not something that you want to develop in front of. And the beach, as you've been seeing, is amazing, isn't it? There's no rocks, there's no coral, there's no algae. Now, when I say rocks, I mean like big rocks that won't let you go in the water, or you got to worry about getting hurt if you go into the water. You can see when it might be high tide, how it's safe to go in the water. It's not a steep drop off in any way, shape, or form. And the shelf here is really flat. It's not really a surfing beach. I would definitely not claim it to be that. But this is the beach where you'll walk, you can swim, you can collect shells, sand dollars, you'll find those super big conchas. It's really quite amazing. Now you can see all this driftwood. That's because the tide makes it up to this particular spot during different points and times of the year. So right now we're coming close to where there are a number of estates, home sites on the plan where people have started to build homes and have built homes over the years. And you see that lot right there? See how it gets wet in there? Now that one is wet, but this one is dry. This one belongs to one of the neighbors. They've been here for quite a while on this particular property. And beside them is another lot that is developed and built, and you can get a good look at what you can do on the beachfront from a very casual standpoint of view of creating a couple bungalows and a rancho, self-service with regards to Starlink. Now here's one more estate lot that's available for sale, only one of the 4, and we're gonna stop right over here by the gate. Actually, I'll get off right here, Howard, it's okay. I'll get off right here. Bear with me for a second. I don't want to stop this video. It's tough when you're on there. All right, so let me explain to you what's going on here. So at this particular point here, where the gate is, I'm gonna go in the shade because why not? It's hot out here. In this particular point is where the development area starts, where these home sites are, these estate lots. And these are some 130, 140 feet wide by 250 feet deep, almost more than 2/3 of an acre. Now, when you look forward from this particular point, excuse me, it's hot, you can almost see the palm trees straight ahead. Now that's the border where we came from. You might have recognized that from a previous video. And that's 1 kilometer from this point. And as we get back on the quad and we cruise down the beach, I'll point out specific areas where the lots are gonna be for sale and have been sold and some are available. In addition, where the beach club is, where the hotel is, and so on and so on. Right now, this is an amazing lot by an owner who's going to be building 3 homes on this specific location of 240 feet deep. I really like that lot. Howard's been doing an amazing job here with me. So continue to follow along. In the next video, we'll take you all the way down the beach and we'll show you a little bit more. All right, we're back for part 2. Let me take you down the development area of the beachfront, and I'm going to give you the wide view, all right, so you can see everything. So this is where our beachfront home sites begin. There are some really, really large beachfront home sites here, at least 120 feet wide along the beachfront. And remember, all these beachfront lots are freehold title. Now there's 1, 2, 3 of these super large beachfront homes sites along the beachfront. And then there's a small beachfront club, about 100 meters of beachfront, which we're gonna pass a little bit up ahead. Now we're heading all the way down to where you see those palms, which is about 1 kilometer from where we are right now. Now in this area here is more or less where the beach club is gonna be. One of the 2 beach clubs. This is the beach club for later on in the development of the project. The first beach club is down closer to where those palm trees are, where it's gonna be fronting the condominiums, and that'll be the initial beach club to start. Now we have some other home sites where right here, there's approximately 23 beachfront home sites along the ocean, which are only, I think, 4 are remaining. And then we created some of those new ones that were back there. Now all along this area is the beachfront properties that are for sale with freehold title and title insurance on the properties from First American Title Insurance and Stewart Title Guarantee. So you know the title's been completely checked. And to give you a little more peek of the beachfront right there, this is where we're driving down. Now, in case you're just watching this clip for the first time, you're just fast forwarding. Playa Mariana is 923 acres when we purchased the property. It's 2 kilometers along the beach by 3 kilometers deep into the mountains. It's 2 different levels of the property. It goes up another 20 meters where there's a plateau. We're gonna see that a little bit later on today. But right now, the purpose of this video is just to show you all the beachfront that is available for sale. I'll spin around, you can kind of see how far that beach goes. And you can go all the way to Boquita, La Boquita that is, about 10 kilometers behind me. And straight ahead is Pochomil, where we rented this quad, which is approximately, call it 4 kilometers and 25 minutes to get here. And the beachfront right now is medium tide, low tide's at 2:15 and it's 11:30 right now. So this gives you a pretty good indication of the beach here at Playa Mariana. In case you're seeing it just for the first time, it's a massive, massive beach. Now, in this particular area here, we're coming close to the end of the home sites. That road is the beachfront road that takes you down to the beachfront home sites. And there are 5 home sites right along this area, each 60 feet wide, and there's one that is 70 feet. So we are more or less at the end of that area. Now, beside this area are the development parcel. There's one development parcel right here that is 130 meters of beachfront, and it goes all the way back, some 10 acres in size. And then beside that is our international hotel location, the beachfront, that's going to be located right here, then goes all the way back 10 acres in size. And then we have a small community area coming up closer to, let's see, Howard, can you go closer to the fence line? Right over here, we've been clearing the land. This is where some of the Casita homes are going to be released fairly soon. All right, you're going to see those coming out in the next couple of months. And the coastal highway is done, so we finished repairing most of the damage to the trees on that dirt slope that you see straight ahead of you. And then coming up after the home site area, it's a little smoky here, is our bungalow hotel, and then followed after that White House is going to be the beachfront condominium area and club. And this is the amazing beach that we have here at Playa Mariana. It's just something absolutely spectacular. I keep telling you, from a real estate standpoint of view, this is the absolute #1 pristine beach in the entire country. There isn't another beach where you're going to be inside of a development where you're going to have this much beach frontage, but not only beach frontage as it regards to a real estate development, but where you can go in each direction at least 10 kilometers. And we're surrounded by a number of towns that make it very unique for support and services. So I'll give you a little bit of a look. We're back here now where the bungalow hotel is going to be located, right here in front. And you can see that slope. See that slope right there? That's 20 meters above sea level. All right, that's 60 feet. So when you're on the top level, you can keep going. When you're on the top level, you'll be overlooking all of this beachfront, and it's just going to be absolutely, simply amazing. We're going to come back a little bit later on today. I'm going to be walking inside there and taking you through in a little bit more detail the exact plan as we walk through the entire area. But we're getting ready to plant. We're in a hurry now to finish cleaning up the entire area, and it looks like the crew is almost done, and soon we're going to be able to start planting. It's going to be really, truly amazing. Now, I was talking about that first beach club that we're going to have to start the resort development. So we have a couple of condo buildings that are going to go in this particular location, but in front of the condo building is going to be the beach club. So from this white wall of the house to the corner of that fence post, all the way past those trees, this is the beach club frontage. It's close to 100 meters. It's huge. There's no bigger beach club in the entire country of Nicaragua that is that big, and fronting this amazing beach here at Playa Mariana. So that is the full tour beachfront of Playa Mariana, and this, we only covered maybe 15 acres of 150 in the development that's on the below slope part out of 923 altogether. So it really is going to be truly amazing. You've now seen the entire beachfront of Playa Mariana on quads. I've walked it, I've been in a car, I've been hanging out the back of a car. I've showed you all 2 kilometers of the beachfront in multiple variety of formats over the last 6 months. It's an amazing beach, and it's still only 3 hours more to go to low tide, and you're gonna see the most amazing beach that opens up so wide you've never seen anything like that before in your life. I'm pretty sure. Well, maybe you have, but I'm pretty sure most of you haven't. But this is like an incredible beach. There's shells here to collect, sand dollars. When it's low tide, I'll show you a little later on as we walk out. There's a huge amount of sand dollars there. And there's a very low undercurrent here, almost barely any. As you can see, the shelf is really flat and the water is warm. Not a surfing beach, so don't come here to go surfing. This is where you come to go swimming and really enjoy yourself in the water. And so we went from corner to corner. That's the corner of the post right over there where you can see the fence line. In front of that fence line, I was mentioning to you, that's the beach club area all the way to the wall of the house with the white fence. And behind the beach club is going to be the beachfront condominiums. And I'm going to show you that property a little bit later on today. I'm going to explicitly show you that property. Beyond the White House are bungalows, then the casitas, then the International Hotel, and then the beachfront residences. Just an amazing opportunity to own property here at Playa Mariana. Freehold title, title insurance on the lands, protected under a property horizontal regime. You can't ask for much more than that. Under construction right now with the water. When that's complete, the power comes next, then the roads, then the beach club. One step at a time, but we're gonna get there. So don't wait too long. Go down below in the description, find the links to playamariana.com, go up top to the link in the bio, wherever you're watching this. Click that, register, and on the other side, book your call with me. And let's see if you qualify to become one of the precious few owners here of beachfront property and join our private Pacific Reserve. That marks the end of our tour, our quad tour that is. The day is just beginning. It's only 12 o'clock and low tide is at 2:15. So we got a whole bunch of more videos to make, updates on the roads, the ramps, the water, topography. So we're gonna go off to Playa Mariana now. In case you're just skipping forward, you're just seeing this in a clip. We're at Pochomil, which is 4 kilometers south of Masachapa. Or sorry, 2 kilometers south of Masachapa straight, and 4 kilometers that way to Playa Mariana. And we just drove all the way down to the Tecolapa River, about 6 kilometers on these quads over here that we rented. And I was just saying, there's more places to eat along the beach here in Pochomil, only 4 kilometers from Playa Mariana, than there is in all of San Juan del Sur along the beach. In fact, I'm gonna say there's probably 3 times as many places to come and eat along the beach. And I've eaten at about 4 or 5 of these restaurants. They're not bad. They're not bad. So Pochomil is definitely a place to put on your radar for swimming, beach, safety, activities, quads, horses, soccer, whatever you want to do on the beach. This is entertainment paradise, only 4 kilometers from Playa Mariana. So you're not in the middle of nowhere, okay? There's a lot of surrounding towns and communities and amenities. And Pochomil right here has all that for you, and 2 kilometers away is only Masachapa, which is a town of close to 3,000 people and even more services. And from there, 13 kilometers is San Rafael del Sur, hospital facilities, amenities, hardware, pharmacy, doctors, you name it, 75,000 people, an even larger town to get everything that you possibly need. So be sure to check out Pochomil. Let's help put Pochomil, Masachapa, Playa Mariana on the map as the next place in Nicaragua that's up and coming in the Pacific Passage. Go to the description down below, find a link to playamariana.com, register to find out more information about what we're doing here in Nicaragua. I'll see you on the other side. That's it for now. You're watching me right now on the coastal highway from Masachapa to Playa Mariana, but not quite at Masachapa. You saw me hang out the window in Casares from the rotunda all the way to Playa Mariana. What you're looking at right now is the coastal road paved from the rotunda at Pochomil, because from Pochomil back to Masachapa is about 3 kilometers. And so we are traveling right now on the coastal highway to Playa Mariana, and they're making significant progress from the last time that we were here. And we're gonna be there right away, aren't we? I would suspect they may be paving Playa Mariana, at least that part, very, very soon, because I can almost see the border of our property a couple of kilometers ahead. So this is gonna be interesting to see where the road goes to. Okay, so you can see it right now. So they are very, very close. So when I get to Playa Mariana, I'll let you know when you get really close. So when you've been watching this video, you've been watching us tour around and give you all of the updates where the coastal highway is, on the beach at Playa Mariana. We just finished a 2-hour quad tour on the beach, a total of about 10 kilometers in 34 degrees weather. I'm not sure when you're watching this video, but I'll date it. It's May 22nd today, and it's Saturday. I believe it's May 22nd. And we're on our way to Playa Mariana to check on the progress of the ramps, because when the paving starts to get close to your project, that's when the ramps are put in, and because they pave from the highway all the way down on the ramps, for the most part. I've seen it in different areas all across the coastal highway in and around San Juan del Sur. It's a bit of a mixed difference, but you can see how much of the work is getting done and how quickly that is from week to week that I've been showing you everything that's been going on. Now, for those of you just tuning in, you may be watching this video for the first time. I'm Kevin Fleming. I am the founder and chairman with my wife of Grupo Mariana, and we are developers of Playa Mariana here in Nicaragua, and more specifically in the Central Pacific Passage near Masachapa and Pochomil. Really an undiscovered up-and-coming area that has been largely ignored for 2 decades. And we've been developing this property into a mixed-use residential real estate property. Now, we're under construction right now with the water being put into the development, and over the next 6 months they'll be going to all the individual lots and development parcels. The land is freehold title in all 923 acres of the property, where we hold title insurance from First American Title and Stewart Title Guarantee. Now, we're coming close to our property line, really, really close. I'll let you know when we get there. And the property itself is covered in a horizontal property regime, which means there's covenants and restrictions on the entire property, which make it a lot easier to enforce the rules and the regulations, so you can collect dues to maintain the property so it looks immaculate and pristine condition all of the time. So I don't think they're going to be more than a week or a week and a half more to get this road paved all the way to our project. Now we're coming up to the border. You're going to see a tent on the left-hand side, and that is essentially the border of our property. And we're going to drive straight to the end of the road, and then we'll come back so we can see what's happening on the other side of the road as well, since we have time to do this right. Now, when you've been watching us over the last 6 months, you'll notice that they only dug up the road here in October. So all of this progress that you're seeing by Mako, the construction company out of Costa Rica, is over the last 6 months. Now we're gonna slow down here just for a second. I'm gonna point out that they've just put in these ramps right here. There's one ramp to our neighbor's property, and there's one ramp to our particular property, and it goes on both sides. And that is one part of Playa Mariana right there. We saw the beachfront a little bit earlier. That is the actual entrance into the property. There's 3 of them. And we also have Playa Mariana on the other side of the development as well. So in fact, let's keep going straight. I want to see some topography of some of the other entrances that we have been marked off. And we'll get back to you in a different video coming up right away. You're here with me now at Playa Mariana, right at one of the 3 entrances off of the Coastal Highway that we've been driving down. Now this particular entrance was really our second entrance, and then there's another one halfway down the property, and then another one further down there. So we have a little work to do, but MNTE and the Ministry, that's the Ministry of Transportation here in Nicaragua and Mako, they had the coordinates to put in the ramps here at the project, and this is where it goes. So our neighbor, they've got a ramp over there for their cane fields on both sides, and that tree line is the border of Playa Mariana, and it goes 1.8 kilometers all the way down to the Tecolapa river. And this property line here where we are now, all the way up goes 1 kilometer to where the well and the infrastructure and the security site is, and the Agrihood community is beginning. So I'm standing right in the middle of the highway right now, and you can see how they have finished a ramp there, and they paved those ramps 10 meters in, so it won't stay dirt and then the top of the road concrete, smooth with finished surface, you might say. It goes into the property at least 10 meters. And so that is really, really great and solid. So it's nice to have a very good ramp, because 2 months ago we had our discovery event, and they had not got to the point where the ramps were in. And so everybody got off the bus on that side, because that was the only way we could access it at the time. And we had to climb up all this material, and it was slippery, a bit awkward too. And then we had to walk into the property. But that is no longer the case. So welcome to Playa Mariana. We're gonna be checking out the entire property today. You may have been watching this video, or depending upon where this is clipped from, the beachfront. We took a whole quad from Pochomil and went 6 kilometers all the way to the edge of the river. That was hot, let me tell you. We're gonna go down to the oceanfront level and check on the topography that's taking place down below, also on the beachfront. So we're gonna give you all angles of the project today. A complete update this May 22nd. And I couldn't be any happier at the progress of everything that's going on site. Step by step, we're getting there. The most amazing project in the country of Nicaragua, up and coming. When you want more information, go down below in the description. Look for the links to playamariana.com. Wherever you might be watching this, go into the bio, click on that. It'll take you to playamariana.com. Register. I'll be on the other side waiting for you. Book a call so you can find out more information on how you can get involved here at Playa Mariana. And when you do, you're going to be glad you did. We've moved inland now, inside Playa Mariana's oceanfront, and looking down at the beachfront. We came from all the way over there on the Coastal Highway. You can kind of see that truck up there. That's a half a kilometer from this particular distance. And when you're just watching this clip for the first time, the whole entire Coastal Highway goes through a piece of our property, 1.8 kilometers. Now from this particular spot, we're half a kilometer to the highway, as I mentioned, but all the way to those mountains in the background, that's all the way, that's almost 3 kilometers back there. Now up here in this dirt area that you see created, this is from the Coastal Highway. All the dirt that came from the highway, they pushed it all over here, somewhat graded it. It's gonna get a little bit muddy in the rainy season. And they also kind of graded on the slope as well. And we just finished clearing all of the downed trees and damaged vegetation from where the earth was moved. So you can see where the earth is. We had to clear all down below because it was terrible. It was terrible. And now we're undergoing a whole complete reforestation plan. But what's really unique and fascinating about Playa Mariana is the two different levels, because up here where you could say 900 acres resides, all up here, down below here you see about 20 acres of land, all pure beachfront. And that's where we're going to be releasing all of the coming residences that are going to be for sale. So for example, the Beachfront Condominiums and the Beach Club are going to be located down below. Then there's a bungalow hotel right in that particular spot. There's Casita homes here facing the beach. And then there's the International Hotel coming to Playa Mariana, which we're soon going to announce. So very exciting times here at Playa Mariana with lots of development. But this is our primary focus right here in this beachfront area. And then up above is future development where all the roads and the entrances and all that good stuff is going to come later, because you can only do so much so quickly. Right now we're focusing on completing the water project that we have, and then phase 2 is bringing the water to all of the development area up here and all of the beachfront properties that are down below, whether it be Homesites, the hotel, the bungalows, or the condominiums, or the beach club. So that's what's happening right now here at the oceanfront level. And we're going to go down to the beachfront next. Let me explain to you what's going on down here at the beachfront level before I actually reveal the beach at low tide for you. What you're looking at right now in front of you is an area in which we've been clearing since the coastal highway folks came and moved all that dirt, and we've had to rectify the situation by cleaning up some of the damaged debris. And in preparation for construction in this entire area, which is going to be simply amazing, are the beachfront condominiums located down there with the beach club. Over here is the beachfront bungalow hotel. In this general direction are the Casita homes that we're going to be releasing, then the International Hotel, and down that road, the beachfront Homesites. And everything that I mentioned that's going to be here, all right, there'll be more of it back here, butting up against the slope. And so down below, this is going to be one incredible development for people to own property at, come and visit, entertain themselves, and generally have a great time. We've been working on this since October. It's not an easy task to clean land. You have to pick and choose which trees are going to come down. You got to clean up all the debris. You got to take out all the tree stumps. You got to secure the fencing. In fact, now's a good time to talk about that. You see that fencing right there? That wasn't there before. We put that up, 1.2 kilometers of fencing, all the way from the border of our property down to the development area. And we've been working very hard in trying to clean up that slope area where all the dirt knocked down a bunch of trees, and then we removed other trees that needed to basically get taken out in preparation for construction. Now the next step around here is going to be removing the stumps. And within the next 2 to 3 weeks, all of this will be cleared even more. Every week you see a little bit more and a little bit more progress, and things looking much, much cleaner. And you saw just today, we were over at Catarina looking at close to 500 trees to purchase and reforest everything down here. It's going to be very lush landscaping. In fact, you may not even recognize it 6 months to a year from now, as everything grows really fast and everything is going to be looking just simply amazing. So stay tuned, go down below in the description. Be sure to click the links in the bio. Find yourself to playamariana.com. We'll give you the inside scoop of what's going on, and you too might have an opportunity to join us down here at Playa Mariana. There's never a better way to show you a property than to show it to you as I experience it myself. It's low tide right now, and I'm feeling a little bit emotional down here on the beach. Although my day started early, and I did plan on coming out here when it was low tide, which is what it is right now. I really didn't expect to find the beach so wide today. I mean, it always is at low tide, but today it's something about it just seems really magical to be walking out here all by myself, looking at this land that we've owned for, not the beachfront, but the land on the other side of the fence that we just completed. In fact, you can almost see straight ahead, that's where the road comes down to the beachfront lots. And that's your signal that from that road, all of this land is beachfront lots that are for sale. And on that side of the road this way is all the development areas of the hotels, condos, houses and residences. And here, just in case you're watching this video for the first time, all of the land is freehold title. It's a 120-year-old title that we've owned for the last 20 years and bought it from the owner who had it for almost 100 years, dating back to 1904. It quite possibly might be the only title where there's only 2 names on record for over 120 years. And that's freehold title, which makes it extremely, extremely valuable. Oh, look, there's a sand dollar. I don't take the sand dollars out anymore because they basically die, so I just like to leave them on the beach. But this beach, you can collect shells. I just picked up this one right there. And there's a big one that I found earlier on. And this beach has a lot of shells, a lot of sand dollars. You'll find some small rocks, like normal rocks that wash in, but they wash out. But for the most part, there's no huge rocks where you're worried about going into the water and stepping on something that's going to hurt you. You've seen me go to all the other beaches in and around Salmon del Sur, and Juguete, and Casares, and Boquete. And I'll just say it, they're terrible beaches because they're so rocky. But some are great beaches for surfing. Like, I can't take that away from them. But for swimming, I haven't found a safe beach to really go into and swim in the south of Nicaragua. Now, I'm sure there's a spot somewhere, don't get me wrong, okay? But for the most part, you gotta be careful because even though you can go into the water, you wanna watch out for the shelf. See, look here at Playa Mariana. You see how flat that is? There's nothing that drops off where it's gonna create a really huge undertow. So usually a low tide reveals the type of beach that you have, whether you can go swimming or not. And there's no massive like 45-degree angles that's gonna create like a rip current and pull you out. That's what makes this beach absolutely amazing. And you know, look where I'm standing right now and look where the land is, all the way over there. And you can only imagine where the waves are crashing. It's only up to your ankles over there. And where the waves are forming, maybe it's up to your shoulders. It's really incredible here. I've been in the water so many times over the last 2 decades. It is really, truly a magical, special thing when you go in there and you keep walking yourself out. And you're like, how far can you go before it actually gets to your waist? It really is incredible. Now I started walking all the way down there where the palms is and the white houses. You're familiar with that because this isn't the first time you're watching one of my videos. And I just keep walking. I'm gonna keep walking until I get to the palm trees over there, which signifies the end of the development area in Playa Mariana, which is 1.2 kilometers long. Now the property, in case you're just watching this for the first time, is actually 2 kilometers long, which we purchased. But beyond what you can see is a river. And you might have seen that earlier on one of my quad tours or standing up in the back of a pickup truck as we have driven down the beach before at low tide. And there's a river there which protects the area of land in and around the beachfront. So nothing will ever be developed, which is great because it gives you a natural green space to protect and enjoy the wildlife that tends to congregate there. And I'm walking right along the water's edge, but this time I got my shoes on, you see? Still wearing my shoes, although many times when you've been following me before, you know I sometimes just take off my shoes and walk bare feet. I'm really tempted to do that now, but I still have a little bit ways to go and things to do. It's only 2:20 in the afternoon right now, and we're waiting for our civil engineer to come on site to go through the water area, which will probably be one of the next 2 videos that I make today. But just wanted to share this walk with you. The way to get involved here at Playa Mariana is very simple. You have to go to playamariana.com. You have to register to get on the other side. There you're gonna see like the immediate availability of real estate, whatever it is that we might have available, and the pricing. So we don't hide anything, but you do have to register your name, and actually you don't have to do that. You just have to register your email. And then on the next page, you're gonna see everything revealed to you. And then the next step after that is to book your call with me, and we'll see if Playa Mariana is the right fit for you, because it may not be. You know, beachfront, freehold title, title insurance, covenants and restrictions, registered HOA that's enforceable, all the permits in place, construction underway. Maybe that's not what you're looking for. You want something actually finished. Well, I can't offer you that just yet, but we're about as close to being finished as the next project can be, with everything in place to do so. It's just a matter of time. So I highly suggest that you go click the link in the bio wherever you're seeing this video, or go down below in the description, click on the links that'll take you to playamariana.com, register, and I'll see you on the other side. And as I'm walking here at low tide, as I often do, I have zeroed in on something pretty special. One of these big concha shells, and I'm gonna keep looking for some more. This beach is full of shells, so everywhere you look along the beach here at Playa Mariana, you're gonna find yourself a ton of shells. In fact, you better get here soon and early in the morning when the tides go out, because the secrets that this beach reveals are quite amazing. And this is low tide right now. It is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Remember, we started at 6:30 this morning, but it's 2 o'clock now. This is low tide. This is about as big as the beach is going to get at low tide right now. And there's a nice breeze that is coming from behind me from the mountains. And what is always simply amazing back here at Playa Mariana is once you're down at the beach, you kind of forget that there's even a whole nother level and 900 acres up above that slope behind you. And that's what makes this beach so incredibly rare and valuable and amazing and unique, is that it feels like your own private oasis down here. And although you're not on an island, it sure feels like it, because you're all down here alone on this pristine natural beach. And soon, very soon, coming soon, it's going to be amazing opportunities for you to find out more. So go to playamariana.com, register, learn how to get involved in this particular project. And you too, should you be accepted, might be calling yourself an owner of this freehold title land down here that's fully insured from 2 U.S. carriers like First American Title Insurance and Stewart Title. You want to get here and find out as quick as possible. Behind the scenes with me now, still yet at another part of Playa Mariana. Right now I'm down at the beach club area. Now it doesn't look like a beach club now, but that's why you watch this channel, because I tell you everything behind the scenes of what it takes to develop real estate. And the first thing right now is, guess what? The topographers are here and they're starting to mark the lots and the key areas of development within the project. So then we know where to clear specifically, keeping as many great trees as we can, dumping the rest, burning them, getting rid of all the thorny ones, and replanting. We have such an amazing reforestation program with over 5,000 trees to be planted over the next year. It's going to be simply amazing. Now, in the case you're just watching this for the first time, which is highly unlikely, right? Or you're just finding us, let me show you the beach here at Playa Mariana. I keep showing everybody the beach because today is an amazing day. It's 3:30 in the morning. We started at 6:30 when we left the office in Granada, and it is pretty well low tide right now here at Playa Mariana, and this is what you can expect here at low tide. It's an amazing. So just imagine and picture yourself in this beach club, an amazing pool, facilities, and just an experience that is going to be unmatched anywhere. And this is your beach where you can walk right out in front and enjoy. And what makes Playa Mariana really unique and special is it's really flat. There's not really huge waves. It's completely safe to swim. There's no rocks, coral, or algae where you're gonna get hurt underneath. And you can clearly see here at low tide, there's nothing that you're gonna hurt yourself on within this beach. And we sit within a 20-kilometer range of beach, and we're 2 kilometers in the middle of it. And our property is 923 acres. It's freehold title, title insurance, covenants and restrictions. It's the most amazing development potential progress property moving forward in the whole entire country of Nicaragua. I've been to all the beaches. I've showed you all the beaches. There are no other beaches like Playa Mariana. This is by far the supreme being of beaches in the country to come and enjoy, and to have the opportunity to potentially own property here. Not everybody will qualify. Not everybody will get in. But the first step is to go to playamariana.com, register for more information. Next step is to book your call with me, and ultimately get yourself down here so you can be standing in front of this amazing ocean on this property. We'll talk a little bit further about how you can get involved with Playa Mariana. With me now at the location of the site supervisor, who, fortunate for us, lives right beside us. So where you're looking straight forward right now, that's Playa Mariana. That's the road, and this is their property, and this is our property. Now, we've been here, this title, for 120 years, and they've been here for over 50 years. And Carlos, our site supervisor right here, He's been doing all of the work on site with 10 of his guys up and down throughout the months since October and the coastal highway started. But having a family that is situated so close to the property to look after it for us is really, really invaluable. It's hard to really put a price on that. I remember in October when we came here, and it was nearing the end of the rainy season. It was just so terrible how the roads here had deteriorated because of the rains. And we used to have to walk on this property here, and we'd walk straight down. There's a path on his land that goes obviously right to the beach. But this road here, the one that we've been driving on, the one that's fine now, the one that the coastal highway people put a base underneath so to drain, we couldn't pass it. You couldn't even walk there, really. It was just not passable. And it was some spots where it just dropped like 5 feet. It was really, really terrible. And you can kind of see all that dirt, how high, all the earth that came from the coastal highway folks. They brought it in from the road, which is a half a kilometer that way. And they just started piling it up and piling it up and piling it up. And look how high it got. I mean, it was already like pretty tall because there's 2 layers to the property here in the slope. But as you can see, we're developing down there, and with the clearing going on, the topographers are on site down there in that white truck, and there's a lot of activity now taking place. And I've walked you through this property before, and they've been here a long time, and this is what rural living really looks like. And I've showed you that at one of the other houses on our property, actually, the family that's looking after the security of the site. But this is the firewood. Okay, right? Everybody still cooks with wood in the neighborhood. That's the outhouse over there. I mean, this is real rural living. And so we aim to help lift and change things for everybody, especially with the water going into our project. These people really don't have water here. I think they have a well, but it's not really that of a fresh water well. So anyways, that's a story for another day. But as infrastructure comes across to the beach next door, you can for sure count on the very fact that all these homes that are in the area, they'll get the same amount of infrastructure that we have. So they'll have roads, and they'll have power, and they'll have water, and we'll be able to uplift everything. Hola, ¿cómo está? ¿Todo bien? ¿Todo bien? ¿Todo bien? Okay. That's the patriarchal man of the family right there. He's losing his sight a little bit. And, you know, the dogs and the pigs together, you know, real rural life stuff, you know, a garden where they grow stuff, chickens, they're eating, you know, this is how things are in rural life in Nicaragua. And not just Nicaragua, really in a lot of places across Latin America and really across the world for that matter. So we can't help everybody, but we do want to help to improve some things as easy as possible for all the people that are around us, and so everybody benefits equally. Let's say goodbye to Playa Mariana for now. Just a part of Playa Mariana. I don't want to fool you. We were down on the beach, and in the last video, I was showing you all the oceanfront. But this is not all of Playa Mariana. This is just the side entrance, you might say, where this ramp is. So earlier today, I took you where the border is. You can kind of see the poles over there with the wire crossing. This is the ramp. It comes into Playa Mariana, and you can see all this on everything you can see in your eye is Playa Mariana. Okay, where the clearing is, that's the hotel area, that's the Casita area, that's the condominium area, that's the beach club area, that's the beach condo area, sorry, beach condo, the bungalow area. When you go down the road, and you can kind of see the road, it goes straight, right? So let me go over here, let me show you. We got some time. So this is an important part of the video, so just pay attention. So there's 3 entrances here at Playa Mariana. This is one of 3, okay? When you come down that road, you'll go straight, and then what looks like a cliff, you're gonna go down. Remember we came down? That takes you down to the beach and all the development area. Now on the top, what's gonna happen is when you get close to the edge, just coming back my way a little bit, there's a huge rotunda. And then when you go through that rotunda, you're gonna turn this way. And there's 3 kilometers of internal roads straight ahead of you. And in fact, you can see the topography right now, some of the sticks, they have to spray paint it so we can see it. But they're starting to mark the topography of the entrance area here at Playa Mariana and the different lots and zones. Now with the ramp coming into the project, our previous master plan that we completed a couple months ago, we weren't entirely sure where the ramp was going to go. So it is quite possible that we may have to adjust a little bit of the master plan That's how it goes, okay, to match where this ramp is. And so part of the topographers on site right now is they are marking this entire ramp area so we can situate it on the CAD plan. And then inside the development, again, everywhere you can see in this screen is Playa Mariana, all right? And we are marking off the entrance area and the service area, and there's a main 3 kilometers of internal roads that are going to be scraped and graded pretty soon. And that's really, really important because on the other side, I want to show you, everywhere you look right now, everywhere you can see, and visually in this image, is Playa Mariana. Along that tree line, it goes 1 kilometer. That's where we're going next. I'm going to show you the water area where you may have seen some of the infrastructure that's been going on there. I'm going to give you an update of what's taking place because they're filling up the water tank and doing some other surprise construction work. But you're looking at the paved road here now in front of Playa Mariana. An amazing opportunity in the country. This country is really developing quickly. It may not be for everybody, but for those with an adventurous spirit and an open mind and a taste for tropical adventure, cultural heritage, and traditions, there is no better place than Nicaragua. I'm sorry to say it, but there just isn't. So as the topography continues on site, as they mark the main entrances and the side entrances and the internal roads, they're marking the lots down below. I took you through the entire beachfront area. It's an amazing, look at that, there's a ramp, there's a ramp. I knew it was coming, right? At our event, it was funny because back in March, you can see how high it is here. It's like 10, 12 feet. And there was no ramps here at all. There wasn't even a temporary ramp. And we had to climb up the hill and then down the hill just to get to the other side from the bus coming down those side roads and parking over there. It was a bit comical, but you know, it wasn't the prettiest thing to look at. So here you are, you're at Playa Mariana, everybody. Welcome. I had such an amazing opportunity showing you a piece of it, only a piece of it. And just to give you a sense of scale, Playa Mariana is 2 kilometers wide by 3 kilometers deep and goes all the way back to those mountains. And this particular side of the highway that we're developing on is 150 acres of the 923. And from this particular location of the highway onto our ramp and then to the beachfront is a 0.5 kilometer. Okay, that's what's going on here at Playa Mariana. And even if I should even call it the first phase, I don't even like that because it puts a timeline on things. So let's just say this is where we are underway with construction. In the next few months, you're going to start seeing roads graded here, and it's going to look completely different. I mean, completely different. It'll be green because the rains are coming. Back here, we're going to be doing some agricultural planting. That's what happens next. We're going to go to the water area and the water infrastructure area, and I'm going to give you a little bit more taste of what's happening there. Hopefully, there's more progress there than there was last week, and I'll be bringing that to you directly out of the horse's mouth. Kevin Fleming here at Grupo Mariana. Welcome to the back entrance of Playa Mariana, which used to be the front entrance because this was the main public road 6 months ago that we accessed this property for over 20 years. And we used to joke because we have 8 kilometers of dirt road. So when you follow this road, it goes to Loma Alegre, then you go left and it takes you to Pochomil, then on to Masachapa. And we used to laugh because the sugarcane people, they maintain the roads year round. So we always know that the roads are hard underneath. Although in the rainy season, there's some areas that get so sloppy and muddy, they look like there's a lake there. It's really messy. That being said, we don't have to worry about that anymore because now, Playa Mariana, the road comes right through the property. And what that means is, just in case you're seeing this for the first time, understand that Playa Mariana is 923 acres. And those 923 acres are 2 kilometers of beachfront by 3 kilometers in depth to the mountains, and I showed you that. Now back here, what separates that 923 acres is a river called the Tecolapa River. And one of the first videos we showed you was us crossing the highway and the bridge where the Tecolapa River is. And that river runs all the way along the backside of our property down this slope. And in a previous video, I took you down there to the river. And I may or may not do it in this video, but we'll see. And what's happened is on this side of the river towards the water, the highway has essentially separated our property in half, or maybe a little bit less than half. And so that's good. It's good because the highway comes right through our property. And back here is the infrastructure area where we own the land And we have 4 wells of water that have been drilled here at Playa Mariana. And since January, we've been building out this entire area has been under construction, meaning we've been building the pump house and the generator and the water tank. And now we have another part of construction taking place. And I'm going to tell you about that in a second. Not only that, but we had to repair almost 2.5 kilometers of fence line. So from here all the way to the river on both sides of the road, we had to clean it and then clear it. All right, and we put in all brand new posts in this area and brand new wire. That's important because you have to maintain your fences. We had a bit of an animal control problem before because they were just roaming on the land, but we've since taken care of that. And now this back side of the property is going to be an Agrihood community where we're going to be planting and growing crops for the people in the neighborhood and also for Playa Mariana. And so when you come through this back entrance, which is right over here, okay, there's going to be some new doors that we just had made there to try and pretty this area up. But before I tell you about some of the construction that's going on, let me give you a sense of what's going on. So right now, the well has been operational for a long time now. We fixed that up back in January. It's been running since February. And since then, remember, you watch this channel because I tell you everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent. We had some sabotage on our well, okay, over the years. So properly now what we've done is we built ourselves a pump house and secured it with fence all around. And there's the water tower. Finally, the water tower, I'm not sure if it was in the last video. Oh no, it was. I showed you the water tower came in. But they've been filling up the tank with water and testing the lines, and everything seems to be working just fine. Now, they haven't filled in the trench yet because they have to lay, see all that sand over here? There's a lot of sand. And before we start putting too much work on the sand and the pipes, they put the pipes down into the trench, and it goes from here all the way into the pump house, and it fills up this tank. Okay, and this tank is 5,800 gallons. All right, which, can anyone guess how many liters that is? Okay, guess. I think it's 22,000 liters. Now, what's happening is this is the little pump house that we built. It's not meant to be pretty, okay? We still got to paint it. But that is one of 4 tanks that are going to be in this area upon completion, which is enough to service 200 homes at 100% capacity using 100 gallons of water per day. And that's what the permits and the requirements suggest in Nicaragua, that if you're going to have a development and you are going to provide water for the individuals, the basis for your permit is that your well should be able to deliver 100 gallons of water per house, okay, to however many homes you're going to have. So for us, that's plenty of water, plenty of water. Now, as you can see, the trenching, look how fast things grow. Just a couple of weeks ago, there was like nothing green in there. And it's only rained a couple of times, but everything seems to grow on this land, which is kind of great. So we'll have to clean it up. But nevertheless, so what's going to happen is that sand will go underneath the pipes and around it. And then when we're 100% secure and the water lines tested and the pressure is good, then we will fill the trench. Now what happens is, when you don't know much about water, let me give you a crash course, okay? So the water is in there. There's a well in there. Let me poke the camera a second. I don't edit videos, so the well's over there. Okay, you can kind of see the well over there. And that well goes down 200 feet. And what happens is the well water pushes out. Well, actually, I should qualify that for a second. Now, well goes down 200 feet. I'm going to go like this. One second. Hang on a second. I want to show you. So there's the well over there. Okay. So the well goes down 200 feet and will deliver 85 gallons of water per minute, which is not a lot per se, okay, because we have other wells that deliver 250 gallons of water per minute. But the important part that I want you to remember and understand is that when a well delivers 85 gallons of water per minute, it means that the pump you put into the well is very important, because you don't want a pump that's going to be stronger, okay, to withdraw the water from below, okay, more than 75% of the capacity of what is available, or else you run the risk of your well going dry. So we have a pump on there that takes out 65 gallons of water per minute. So the water will come out of that well, and it does already, into these pipes, okay? It'll flow along this trench, and then it'll fill up that tank. Now what happens is, from the tank, what happens is, it may seem a little complicated and backwards, but follow me. Normally, when the water comes into the tank, they will install a pump right beside the tank. And you might see that in and around the neighborhoods of Nicaragua or other developments or other projects, but exposes the pump to the elements. So what we decided to do was when the water comes out, it'll come out of the tank, and then there'll be another line, another trench that will go back into this pump house. And inside the pump house, there's going to be a massive pump generator right there, okay? And the water will come through the generator, and then it will go out in a 4-inch line. So what happens is the lines go in 2-inch, then they come out 5 inches to here, and then they go out 5 inches along the main line to the rest of the development, and then there's 1-inch stubs that go into the lots. Now the standard in Nicaragua is a 3-inch main line with a 1/2-inch stub out. And what I've done is I've almost doubled that by going 5 inches and 1 inch into the lots, just to have more water and more pressure and availability of water for the entire development. And we got to go a longer distance as well. Now in the future, we may actually have to put another well in on the other side. That may prove to be advantageous. But nevertheless, this is where the water is. This is where we started construction. And this is what we're doing. So we've secured the well. It's working. There's water. The tank is filling up. I suspect if I turn that nozzle, water will come out. But I won't do it because there's sand there. Now, what's happening over here is we've decided to make a little addition to the pump house. And so what we're doing here for the rainy season, it should be done in about 3 weeks, is very similar to the size of the pump house here. We're adding onto it on the other side with a security booth, okay, a security house, because you need security around here. And what you're going to find is there's going to be like a little security house over here, a bathroom, and a bedroom. Okay, it doesn't have to be big. It's small, and this is where the people can sleep. This is where they can wash and clean themselves. Okay, and this is where they can watch out and take care of this entire area. Now that structure right there was an old entrance that we started some time ago. We weren't able to complete it, and we ran out of time this season to finish that off. So next year we will, or next dry season, maybe November, December, or January, we'll put a roof on there and paint it up and throw in some windows and a doors, and we'll make that look pretty. And we'll adjust all these roads coming in, because the road is here, but it's always been here. But the fence line and the way you come in will go more towards the entrance over there where you come in and come out. And this was the service area only for the back entrance. So that's your update in and around the pump well house. The tank is here, the water is running, the materials for construction of the add-on to the pump house is there. The fencing has all been done and replaced with new wire. The roads are in, okay? And from here, believe it or not, it's 1 kilometer to the coastal highway, and which means it's 1.5 kilometers down to the beach front. So amazing land. Everything you see in front of you right now is Playa Mariana, just on the backside to the fence line. Isn't that amazing? So I showed you 150 acres on the front side. I'm showing you 350 acres on the backside. And across the river, there's still another 400 acres. Now we won't get to that today. You can see that in some other videos, but I certainly hope you enjoyed this tour. Let's go check out one more stop today, maybe 2. We'll see where we go next. You're with me now in and around my temporary entrance near the site of the water. And you may have been watching some of our videos where last week we let a bunch of cattle onto the property, probably about 25 or 30 cows and their babies. And it's kind of funny because so much to eat is over there, but they made their way here, which is about 1 kilometer from where we brought them up the road. And now they're hanging out in and around this area. But it's important to keep them over there because we're going to be planting pretty soon and we don't have a problem with the cattle. And what's really happening is right in this particular area here, it's probably about 8 acres of land. We're going to be planting some melons and some rice and some corn and some beans, and we're going to be testing out a whole bunch of stuff here on the land and farming, starting to farm the land. And I'm excited by that. I'm so excited about, I don't want to say becoming a farmer, but I'm really learning a lot about agriculture and the ways in which you can grow food, because we can give back and put that into the community and try to solve some needs where we can and help out in other areas as well. So let's go check out the water now. You're with me now at the back at our security entrance location. It's actually another security entrance. There's about 4 of them on site. But this one holds special meaning because when you've been watching everything that we've been doing over the last 4 and 5 and 6 months, we've been reconnecting with all of our neighbors, but more specifically with the family that's been looking after our land on site. Now, I mentioned earlier before when I was at the other entrance that we were doing some fencing and barbed wire, and that is probably 1 kilometer from this location. And you can see all the new posts and all the new barbed wire along the road. And we did that on both sides. And so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take you inside and show you a little bit about what rural living is like in Nicaragua. And this family's been here for quite a while. They've been looking after our land since the demonstrations back in 2018 in Nicaragua, and then COVID. And that was a time in which we were not in the country, but they are our sacred guardians here at Playa Mariana. And I'm going to show you around and introduce you to a few of them so you can get to know the special people that are in and around the community. Because at Playa Mariana, it's not just about beach and ocean view and real estate. One of the biggest missions I have is actually try and help out this family and help out the entire community because it feels good. It feels good. You know the expression, the rising tide floats all boats. And we're going to be building these folks a new casita over at the other entrance once it's all complete. And the security house, where there's going to be a bed and a bathroom and showers and fans on the inside, is for the boys here that are part of the family at this particular location. Come with me now and meet some folks here at the security entrance. This is the Borge family. And they, as I mentioned, have been a special part of what we've been doing. I'll give you a sense of how they've made their life here at Playa Mariana over the last 7, 8 years. It's really quite incredible. We came back here in 2025 with a plan to revisit the property and reconnect with Nicaragua, look at the country and identify whether it was really ready to continue with development. Now, not to my surprise, because we've been following along very closely everything that's been taking place in the country, but I was happy to come back and to reconnect with the land and the people that have been a big part of looking after Playa Mariana throughout the years. Now, at the same time, when I came back, it was really tough. It was actually heartbreaking because there was these people on our land who we knew were here. There wasn't much we could do to help them from afar. And we found skinny dogs and really skinny horses. One dog actually didn't make it. And we just felt like we had to do something immediately. So we've been feeding the dogs. We've been bringing food. We've been helping with humanitarian support and money. And we're going to be building them a home on the other side of where our water infrastructure is and moving them from this location. And I was in shock because while I've been inside homes in rural Nicaragua, basically passing by highways and seeing what's inside, I'd never really grasped the full extent of how poor people can be and how poverty really affects individuals until they were like on my land. And it touched me. Something I've always wanted to help and give back, and we created a mechanism to do so for a long time, even going back to 2008. We're helping out schools in the community. When there was some disaster relief that was needed, we would be there with what support we could make. But there was never any people on our property, or had we been in the community to really show and highlight what can be done from an organized standpoint of view. And so the family here, there's like 6 people that live here on site with about 6 dogs as well. And they've been looking after the land. And I always get amazed at seeing the animals that are inside the houses. But in the case you haven't seen the inside of rural Nicaragua before, I've posted some videos before, but if this is your first one, it might hit you hard, okay? And this is typical to inside these homes. So when you're just driving by anywhere in Latin America, or anywhere for that matter, this is likely what's inside that they cook on, right? It's just concrete blocks and some wood fire burning naturally, all right? And the way in which they built this place with a dirt floor and everything would make your heart break when you would see the kids here. When we got here, the kids didn't even have shoes. We had to buy shoes and bring in some solar lights and just continue to do what we can. Now, we don't exactly want to invest money into this particular location because we're building a house, starting with the security house by the water well, the pump that you saw, which is the extension. And that should be ready in 3 weeks. So two of the boys that live here, okay, you might have noticed there's no bathroom inside here. There's no running water inside here. There's no light inside here. Okay, there's no shower inside here, but in the new security house that we're building down on the other side, we built a bedroom. There'll be a tile floor, fans on the wall, electricity, running water, a shower. I wouldn't be surprised if the entire family here went over there to start taking showers. And you know what? That would be great. That would be absolutely wonderful. And what's great about the family here, the boys who are going to be moving to the other side to look after the water and the security, because they already look after it here. They're going to have like really clean beds to sleep in. I wouldn't be surprised if the whole family starts moving into this little spot on the other side because it's going to look so good. That's why we're so excited about building a house. That's why when you look down below in the descriptions, I'm always leaving my email when you want to help, when you might want to donate, whatever it is, okay? It always helps. Some of our clients do give on a regular basis, and their help and support is always needed. I always take a video when I pass along any money, and I send that video direct to each and every one of the people that donate money here to this family. But other than that, that is a bit of a tour of the Security Families area. They've been here for 6-7 years. They're a big part of what we do here at Playa Mariana, and the impact that we have in the real estate that we are selling. That's just one part of it. Actually, it's a very small part of it. The bigger part is what happens behind the scenes. And that's why you watch this channel, so you can see behind the scenes, the good, the bad, and different, everything I show you raw and authentic of what it takes to develop land and the effect and the impact in the community. Back home with me in Granada at my office. What a day. What a day. I'm like eternally hot. Now, you've been watching all these videos behind the scenes, and I realized when I was driving home, I didn't even actually say goodbye. I left you with the last message at the security house. And normally I stop off on the Coastal Highway to give you one final sign off. So I apologize for that. So I'll let this message be the sign off to all the previous videos you saw today at Playa Mariana, maybe yesterday from Pochomil all the way till Transito, and before that, Laguna del Pollo and San Juan del Sur. But thank you for following along this video to the end. What a day it is. It is now 6:30. What time did we start? It was around 5:30, I believe it was. In any case, you've been following along Playa Mariana. Down below in the description, you'll find all the timestamps to this video. You'll find ways in which you can communicate and get in touch with me. The next step really is to register for more information in case you haven't already done so at playamariana.com. When you do that, on the other side, you have an opportunity to book a call with me. Then the next step is really to get yourself down here and check out everything that I showed you today and over the last month and over the last 5 months and all the progress that's taken place, not only in Playa Mariana, but all of Nicaragua. It's really quite amazing. And only when you come down here and see it for yourself does everything really start to gel and make sense. So my night's not over because I have a client coming in about a half hour's time. I've been waiting for him to arrive for a couple of months, so we're gonna go out for a nice dinner. I'm gonna sign off now. Thank you for following along once again. I'm Kevin Fleming, chairman, founder of Grupo Mariana with my wife. You've been following along the progress of Playa Mariana, and this channel or wherever you're watching this clip is all about taking you behind the scenes and showing you how to develop real estate, and more importantly, how to purchase real estate and avoid the common mistakes that people make. And seeing that I'm a real estate developer for the last 20 years, I will tell you what no real estate developer or agent wants you to know, because I gladly do so, because I want you to take back an experience from Nicaragua that you can share with the world. So for now, we'll see you in the next video.